just like me, you have ever sat with yourself and wondered, what does it take to be significant in life? What does it take to make something out of your life? If you've ever had this test and this quest for significance, for relevance, for greatness, you're just like, I know that my life is not ordinary. I know that there's more to my life. But how do I become, especially in the light of maybe prophecy, in light of what people have told you about yourself? In fact, you've seen patterns in your life that show that there's more to your life, and you yourself, you know that you want to just do more with your life. Then this video is for you. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 questions that you must ask yourself if you want to be relevant, if you want to be great in life, and I think that every young person should pay attention to. The most important point is at the end of this video, so make sure to stay to the end to ensure that you don't miss that point. So if you're interested, make sure to keep watching. Number 1, what do I want to be remembered for? Like when you think about your life, like what is my life legacy? What would I look back in my life and say, yeah, this, like if I'm 70, what is the image that I want people to have of me? Or what is the image I want my children to have of me, my grandchildren, my husband, my immediate family? What is the image that I'm trying to portray to the society about my life? What is my legacy? For example, let me give you a very good. For me, my life mission is to do the will of God. So when I'm 70, I want to sit and say, yeah, I did everything God asked me to do. So what about you? Do you have that mindset? So when you have that mindset, it gives you this humility to say, okay, if I want to do everything that God has asked me to do, then I must find out what God wants me to do. Before I even start saying, okay, I want to be obedient, I want to execute, I must know what he wants me to do. And how do I know what he wants me to do? From the place of prayer, from the place of studying, from the place of intimate relationship with God, from the place of paying attention to the things of the Spirit. So what is your legacy for your life? Ask yourself that question. Number 2 is, what am I doing currently that future generations will benefit from? Very important question, because we have learned that we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. So when I check your everyday system, if I sit with you in a coaching system or a mentorship system and I say, run me through your day, what do you do from 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 12? We will see where the problem is. When people say, I don't have time, it's because they've not framed their life well. So there are small decisions you can make now that would have impact in your life in the future. For example, when it comes to like your children now, in saving for them, maybe you want to create a money fund for them. If you don't start the savings now, you may say, oh, they're small now, they're just 3 and 4. Honey, better start now. By the time they're 21, you would have saved like 10 million, 20 million for them. Even if that one is not even what they used to go to school, at least if they're getting married and you give your child 20 million naira, that child will pray for you for the rest of your life. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing now that future generations would be glad and they will thank me for? The third question to ask yourself is, when was the last time I did something for the first time? This is a question that makes you always think of reinventing yourself, learning new skills, starting new ideas, putting yourself out there. So you have to always ask yourself. Some of us, the last time we learned anything new was 2020. Since 2020, you have not learned anything new. You should actually change. You should actually be invested in your growth, be invested in, you evolving, because it's very important that we evolve, that we grow, that we become. So, and this also speaks to putting yourself out there. Someone has said that if you want to build audacity, you want to build confidence, do something different every year. Do something audacious. Do something you've never done before. Let it scare you, but just do it. Could be bungee jumping, could be jumping from a plane, it could be just going to meet your director at work and saying, sir, I have this business, and I think even if the man will say you're saying rubbish, you were audacious, right? So when was the last time you did something for the first time? And this will lead me to my next point, which is, which books are you currently reading? Which mentors are you currently engaging with? And the fact is that for you to grow, you have to engage with people that have gone ahead of you. It's always good to see pictures of possibilities, in short, if I can say that like that. And for example, you want to start a business, you want to this, you want to that, you can read business books, you can read coaching books, you can read. So don't be that person that is just like, nah, what do they know, what do they know? Yes, we know you're smart, but it's also good to just look ahead and just see what other people are saying. So which mentor, which books, I advise books. Have a book library, collect books. Even if you have not read, just be looking at them. There are books that I've bought, I've not still read them because of timing and all of that. But as I'm seeing them, one day I'll pick up one and I will read it. So just buy books. It could be ebooks, it could be physical books. Buy books, read books, engage with knowledge. Also, the Bible is also a good book to read. The next question to ask yourself is, what problem am I uniquely positioned in the world to serve? A lot of people start with a solution like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you have to ask yourself, which problem am I trying to solve in the world? What is my existence? Like, why I'm here? Which problem is it solving? For example, one problem that I have realized that I'm here to solve is the problem of obedience. So I always tell people that I'm here to call out obedience in you. How am I now expressing this? Is by creating execution framework, is by showing up every day and encouraging you to do what God has asked you to do, is by showing up and saying, oh, don't follow this guy that is not saved, that does not love you, that is not doing this. These are ways that I express this problem that I'm trying to solve. But at the basis of it, the problem I'm trying to solve is to call out obedience in a generation that is, far from God, in a generation that is now dwelling on self. So understand by yourself that, okay, this is the general idea that God is saying you should do, and then how can you put it into different expressions is a very valid question to ask yourself. The next question that you should ask yourself, and I found this in the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. The question is, what singular thing will I do that will shift me from where I am to where I need to be, whether in my industry, in my career, in my profession, in my business, in my church work, ministry, whatever it is. Let me give you a very rough example so that you understand. If you're a lecturer, Cal Newport is a lecturer, so he gave a lecturer's example, and I'm a lecturer too, so I could relate with that book. That book is really for knowledge workers. If you're a knowledge worker, you would really find that book valuable. So if you're a lecturer, you know that as a lecturer, the most important thing you can do as a lecturer that will get you promoted is writing academic papers. So you going to class, you grading papers, you going for conferences, those things are important, but the most important is writing academic papers. So whatever you do in a year, you must write at least, depending on your what is required of your university, at least 5 papers, 6 papers, whatever number of papers. You can't go a year without writing academic papers. And to write academic papers, you need time of solitude, you need time to pay attention. So you need to sacrifice some things to be able to write those academic papers. For example, if you say, oh, there's a conference in Switzerland, and you know that you have not written any academic paper this year, you have no business going for the conference. Pay attention to that academic paper that you need to write. Do we see the point now? Let me give you another example. You're a content creator. As a content creator, what is the most important thing that will put you out there is creating content. Talking about your content, telling people to follow you, going for conferences, going to events, all of that will not put you out there as a content creator. What will put you out there as a content creator is creating engaging, interesting, informative content for your followers. So if you leave all that and you say, I'm still trying to gather things, and you're going for one conference, going for 101, and you're not recording it as content, maybe if you're not in the lifestyle space, you are not going to move forward. So ask yourself, what is the most important thing I must achieve to move me from where I want to be to where I am going? So ask yourself, what is the most important thing I must achieve and do? This is not even about achievement, it's about doing the things within your control, right? Not the ones that is in other people's control. The thing within your control that you must do to move from where you are to where you are planning to be, that vision of yourself that you see. This is how to stay relevant. This is the most important point, actually, that people don't know. So that's why I saved it for the last, right? So I hope that this video has been helpful and it has shifted you a little bit to understanding where you're going, where you're coming from. If you have any more questions or you want to talk about more of this, we could do another video on mindset, mindset shifts that you need to have to become who you want to become. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next video.